A very good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Good evening, sir. Yes, sir, you are audible.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful.
You are audible, sir.
Welcome. Good evening.
Yes,
Good
sir.
evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Hi,
How are
ma'am.
you?
Good evening. Good evening. I'm good,
Yeah.
thank you. How are you?
I am good, sir. Thank you.
Fantastic. Yes, yes. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining in. Good evening, Priya, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you, ma'am?
I'm doing well.
Good
Wonderful.
evening, Dr. Priya.
Good evening, ma'am. Good
Yes,
evening,
I'm
ma'am.
good,
Joseph,
sir.
sir.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening. Good evening.
4:15.
Bala Murali, sir. Warm evening to you as well. Would it be okay if you introduce yourself to us? Tell us maybe where you are from and which institute you are, working with. Anyone? Kindly unmute and just introduce yourself, no? We'll know which part of country you're from. Yes.
Sir, you can check in the chat box.
Yes, I am. Okay. So welcome, Ashisawa, ma'am. Good evening, Daneshwar, sir. Ashok, sir, welcome. Yes, Amrita. Welcome, Professor Amrita.
Okay.
Welcome, Fani Kumari, ma'am, from joining us from Visakhapatnam. Welcome. Someone from Meghalaya is joining us. Welcome. Wow. Can you just tell us what are you working on? What areas of research interests you? Maybe if you could unmute, that'll be great. If not, if you could just put it in the chat box, please. We'll also have some idea. Welcome to everyone. Yes, thank you for joining us. From Uttarakhand, Dr. Pradeep, good evening. Welcome. Dr. Sunita from Bello is here with us. Yes, thanks. Oh, wonderful. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome. Yes, good evening, everyone. Welcome to those who joined a little later. I'm sure we are a very enthusiastic bunch of people who have joined 7 minutes earlier. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's extremely wonderful to know that people are so enthusiastic. It's quite encouraging to our association. Thank you for the enthusiasm. Thank you. Welcome. Good evening. Just maybe a thumbs up to those of you who were at the recently concluded ELTAI conference in Christ University, Bangalore. Wonderful. Oh my, yes, lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you for joining us here in Christ in Bangalore. Yeah, we were thrilled to host ELTAI's conference this academic year. It was something that was long overdue, actually. So we were really very happy and excited. Yes, we hope you had a fantastic experience with us. Yeah, and we're looking forward to the next one already. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, ma'am. Maybe you could just inform us about your areas of research, no? If you could just put into the chat box, if you cannot unmute, we'll just have an idea as to what are your areas of interest, of research. We have another 4 minutes to begin, and we'll begin shortly, yes. Yes, okay. Anything specific in ELT? I think it's a very broad area. Anything in specific? Thank you, sir. That's so kind of you. All right. Okay. Wonderful. Yes. Wonderful, Monica. Wonderful, ma'am. Yeah, welcome. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting, Shalom. Oh, Jayashree, that's equally interesting. Eco-linguistics. Amazing. Yeah. Okay. Literature and AI, Christy Joseph. Wonderful. ELT for English, in English for specific purposes. Yes. Excellent. That's really interesting to see the different areas that, we are working on, or some of us are working on. Lovely. So I think we are ready to go on another roller coaster webinar this evening, beginning in another 2 minutes. Yes. And I'm sure our speaker, Dr. Priya, will enlighten and educate so many of us with whatever she's got to say. I'm so grateful to so many of you to have joined our webinar, before time. Thank you so much. Good evening and welcome. Right, there's 126 of us online and we are ready to begin this webinar. So namaste, my dear brothers and sisters. I am delighted to have you all join us at ELTAI webinar 140, brought to you by the English Language Teachers Association of India. My name is Joseph Felix, and I will be your host for this evening's exciting session. Knowing that all experience is an art, where through gleams that untraveled world whose margin fades, we are together online for yet another experience, to do some work of noble note. I invite you to today's topic, Literature Review Reimagined, Integrating Variable Analysis and AI Tools. This topic resonates deeply with educators and language learners alike. Before we dive into today's engaging topic, let's take a moment to get acquainted with the vibrant world of ELTAI. For those of you who are new to our community or simply need a refresher, we have a brief video to showcase some of the incredible activities and initiatives ELTAI is involved in. May we have the video, please? Kudos and congratulations, ELTAI. What achievements. Absolutely exemplary. Thank you. So we have become a name for always roaming with a hungry heart. Much have we seen and known. We are a part of all that we have met. That was absolutely inspiring and brilliant achievements. ELTAI's commitment to empowering English language educators across India is truly commendable. So, we are here to follow knowledge like a sinking star, beyond the utmost bound of human thought. Before we begin today's session, here are a few important points to ensure everything runs smoothly. Am I clearly audible? Yeah, am I audible? So these are a few instructions to you. Please post your questions in the chat box during the webinar. We encourage you to stay with us for the entire session. Certificates will be issued within 10 working days. Please avoid sending follow-up emails immediately after the webinar to prevent delays. A feedback form will be shared at the end. Please fill it out to receive your certificate. Certificates are available for school, UG and PG students, ELTAI members, and foreign nationals. PhD scholars are encouraged to join ELTAI. Check your inbox and spam folders for the certificate email. Keep a copy of the confirmation email after submitting the feedback form for verification. We invite non-members to join ELTAI for access to resources professional development, and a strong peer network. Friends, to oversee this discussion, joining me is our moderator, Professor Kavita Nair. Let me introduce Professor Kavita Nair to all of us before I hand over to our moderator. So, Professor L. Kavita Nair is currently the head Department of Language, Culture and Society at the College of Engineering and Technology, SRM Institute of Science and Technology. She is and has been an educationist and a leader in a career spanning over 26 years, both in India and abroad. Her PhD is in the Mahabharata and Women's Studies. Dr. Nair is internationally certified in teaching English as a foreign language from the American Association of TEFL and holds a TESOL certification from Arizona State University, USA. She is an accomplished leadership trainer certified by the Dale Carnegie Associates, New York, and Cambridge, and has trained upper management professionals from Fortune 500 companies. She is also a Bosch trainer, a teacher trainer, and a strong advocate of Indian knowledge systems. Her YouTube channel, Lovingly Yours English, features over 40 videos aimed at enhancing English language skills. Beyond being a Madras University rank holder, she is an avid cricketer and badminton player. She captained her college cricket team and also represented Madras University's women's cricket team. She is also passionate about music and is also a singer. Her contributions to academia and leadership have been widely recognized, and she was recently honored as one of the top 10 inspiring women leaders by She Inspire magazine. Dr. Nair's primary research interests center in women's studies, English literature, language teaching, mythology, culture and identity, and pedagogy. Under pedagogical innovations, she, along with her scholar, has designed an app, TechComp, for reading comprehension based on CLIL for BTech students. She is part of various DC meetings, comprehensive exam committees, and Viva examiners across universities. She is also an inspiring research supervisor, having guided and is guiding scholars on themes of women's studies, diaspora, mythology, and identity in literature, memory and space, queer studies, digital narratives, and fear literature. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me Dr. Kavita Nair, our moderator. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Joseph, for being such a kind moderator, host. And I saw your skills absolutely stunning as a host, welcoming everybody, keeping everybody so busy, active.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for that, detailed intro. I thought you'll just sum it up, but you actually read it out. But anyway, thank you, sir. But from my side, a very good evening to everyone joining us from different parts of the country. Am I audible, sir? Can everybody listen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Great. On behalf of ELTAI, I'm delighted to welcome you all to the ELTAI webinar 140 on Literature Review Reimagined, Integrating Variable Analysis and AI Tools. This session explores how research writing, especially literature review, is evolving in the age of digital and AI-driven scholarship. Now, a literature review isn't just a list of past works, it's a narrative of knowledge formation, how ideas grow, intersect, and diverge. Now, according to me, I look at literature review as something like life itself. With listening and reading, we read, listen to the voices that have come before us, to the thinkers who questioned, argued, and dreamed before we did. In those voices, we try find our own direction. Today's research environment demands more. It requires pattern, it requires recognition, variable mapping, and synthesis. With AI tools and data-driven analysis, researchers can identify trends, correlations, and research gaps that were previously invisible. So, to guide us through this fascinating reimagining of the literature review, we have with us Dr. Priya Advani, Assistant Professor at the School of Holistic Development, MIT ADT University, Pune, a scholar who bridges literary inquiry with analytical and AI assisted research methods. Dr. Advani is an accomplished scholar whose research and teaching span English literature, second language acquisition, ELT pedagogy, feminist studies, and research methodology. With over a decade of academic experience, she has published extensively in reputed national and international journals and has authored books on language skills, communication, and business ethics. She has conducted numerous lectures, workshops, and faculty training programs across universities, focusing on literature review, research design, communication, and digital pedagogy. Her approach combines the analytical depth of scholarship with the forward looking possibilities of AI tools and digital innovation in education. Beyond her research, Dr. Advani is also an active reviewer for international journals, known for bringing clarity, precision, and empathy into both academic mentoring and research evaluation. Her work reflects a rare blend of humanistic insight and technological vision, reimagining how teachers, researchers, and learners can use evolving digital tools to build more insightful, ethical, and globally relevant scholarship. I think let us all, make the best use of this opportunity that is being provided by ELTAI to learn the maximum from Dr. Advani's knowledge. Let me now hand over the session to Dr. Priya Advani. So, gentlewomen and ladies and men, Dr. Priya Advani.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this warm welcome. A very good evening to all, one and all participants here. Before initiating the session, if you kindly spare few seconds to let me know, what do you think literature review is? Like, what are your thoughts for literature review whenever you are writing your work? How do you perceive literature review as? Can you please share your thoughts? Based on that, I can commemorate my intelligence or my experience of literature review. I'm just looking for the responses on chat box. What do you think about literature review? Okay, so Sunita ma'am has shared that literature review helps us to find research gaps. Yeah, that's a part of literature review. It's a very accustomed part of literature review. What else? Yeah, that is okay. Rajeshwari ma'am, that what has been done so far in that specific topic which we are about to work on, that is even called as a review of that literature. And Akash sir, Akash Bisht, literature is AI glorified story making of every interesting or inspired event of the past. Okay, great. Vinod sir, literature that is based on topic we are going to explore. Okay. Devi Raja, to understand the text much better. Yeah. Ansari sir, helps us identify the patterns of knowledge constructed. Okay. And Akash Pisht again, and stories that have the power to lure us. Okay, you think in that ways? This is a new thing to learn. Okay, Deepa ma'am is saying systematic study and summary of the existing research. Yes. Past research in the field establishes the research gap and relevance of our study and theoretical background. Okay, so yeah, like you all know research literature review is a part work on literature review just to go through what actually has been done in the specific topic which we are working on, and even to know the gaps. Yeah, you are right, but I have some different opinions. Let me share my PPT with you so that things go more easy. Okay, so I would add here, to my understanding, literature review is the study which will provide a clear understanding of how emotional, sorry, I have taken this, how actually the factors are influencing our work, in what ways the factors are influencing our work. That is literature review. Influencing means, for example, you are going to study on English language as a foreign teaching, so prevailed uh, in in rural areas. Okay, just take an example of this topic. So I will work on the key points of my topic to see the viability, the approach of keywords, and even I'll check the timeline also, that is specific time span, what work is done and what new could be seen. Literature review means tracing the factors, the development of factors. Topic is always there. It was there 10 years back. It is present till now also. But we have to check the development of factors through literature review. That is called as the review of the relevant factors which are going to be studied through our research study. So to make you understand what actually literature review is and how to work on literature review with a recent methodology, I have chosen one topic, and based on this topic, I'll explain you step by step how actually the work has to be done. Even I'll help you through this presentation how to work on model-based study. You all might have heard, would be knowing that model-based studies are very much approached by high esteemed journals, corpus index journals, and model based study is quite not very clear to the people, for us, like the people for who are having language as a domain, and the language or English language as foreign studies. We hardly know very rare few things about this model study. So I'll include the model based study. Based on that, I will give the presentation of what actually would be done while writing the literature review. Yeah, so I have chosen topic, understanding emotional intelligence in teacher development. This is my topic for research for today's presentation. I want to see emotional intelligence, how much emotional intelligence is important for any teacher to get the development in her career, in her approach, in her pedagogy, so many things. So I want to know how emotional intelligence is adding value to teachers' development. Okay, so I'll start here. The research foundation is here. The literature review helps collect information on what actually I have to work on now. I have to work what emotional intelligence means in education context. See, emotional intelligence means to have a balance between the brain and the heart, the emotions. To have a balance between the brain and emotions, that is called as emotional intelligence. For example, I know you all are already scholars and you don't want any explanation, but still I would explain. Emotional intelligence means, for example, I have asked the peon of my workplace, Dada, would you please help me to fill the bottle? Dada said, no, ma'am, I'm busy today. Now, my emotional intelligence says me, have patience, be calm, Don't react. So this is the emotional intelligence. What emotional intelligence? I'm trying to maintain a balance between my emotions and my thoughts. That how come Pyun Dada is denying this his duty, is saying no to fill the water bottle. But then with the help of emotional intelligence, I try to make myself calm, and then it helps me not to react and think again that he would be busy and would have been some urgent things that he's saying me no. So this is emotional intelligence actually, and I am trying to work on how such things are helping a teacher to develop. So what questions should I raise to write a literature review? What emotional intelligence means in an educational context? How emotional intelligence is relevant actually? A teacher teaches with a text, with the explanations, with other things, but how come emotions? So yes, what emotional intelligence means in an educational context? Existing professional development programs for teachers. Are there any programs that are working to for the development of teachers to think on, to work as per their emotional intelligence? And the third would be, the question is how EI contributes to teaching quality. Okay, what a teacher knows EI, how it is contributing to the quality of teaching. These three would be my questions of research. And I'm assuming that what can be the findings. You all are the researchers. I am assuming that whenever you are writing any research work, your thesis maybe, whenever you are writing, you are putting up the research questions. After that, you know what are the probable research findings. Based on that, you are going to plan your research survey, your questionnaires, your other things, I suppose. So key findings are: past studies show teachers with high emotional intelligence manage classroom better. These are the findings. Build stronger student relationships, and also it shows higher resilience to stress. So EI is a component that teachers' success, not just subject knowledge. It is actually a basic thing which a teacher requires for success. Included the text, the explanations, the pedagogy they are using, EI has the same role to play. I got this draft for my literature review. Just a moment. Okay. Now, when I have the research questions, that what work I have to follow, along with that, I need to see that what gaps are existing. Now, to find the gaps, there are few criterias. First criteria would be focus limitations. What could be the limitation for this work? Most research focuses on student achievement, but not on teachers' own professional growth. Whenever emotional intelligence and teachers' role is being studied, hardly the professional growth of teachers is studied. Hardly it is considered for research. But yes, surely much of the work is done on emotional intelligence, the students' growth, development, students' understanding. Much has been done, but very less work is done on professional growth of teachers, which is aided with emotional intelligence. Now, there can be geographic gaps also. EI training programs limited to Western countries with a minimum Indian and Asian data. This is also a gap. You can choose any place where you see that less of the EI trainings are conducted for teachers. You can choose any of the school of UP, you can choose any of the school of Madhya Pradesh. Very less EI trainings are conducted for teachers' growth. So this can be a research gap. And there are also measurement gaps. Few studies measure a long-term impact on EI-based PD interventions. Now, this is complicated to understand. What do you mean by measurement gaps? One thing is studied already, that if a teacher behaves as per the student's understanding, if she balances her emotional intelligence as per student's understanding, she may be considered as a good teacher. She can be awarded as the best teacher. So few studies measure long-term impacts of emotional intelligence, that is based personality development interventions. This can also be the gap. So we have to finalize what gaps we are going to focus. Geographical gaps, measurement gaps, and focus limitations. What gap we are going to consider for our study, this we have to decide. Dear participants, are you all easy with my explanation then? You want me to change my tone or my speed of explanation, or may I go ahead? Okay, thank you. Thank you, dear students, dear participants. Sorry, I have a habit of calling students, so I'm so sorry. So now, once we are done with the gap findings, what actually we are going to focus on the gaps. Now we have to create a pillar for our literature review. And every time this pillar means we have to find the theories based on our research topic. That is actually pillar for literature review. You always have to consider whatever theories are there in the market, in the stock, in the metadata, anywhere which is relevant and important for your research topic. So for that, with the topic which I have chosen, understanding EI for teachers development, I could trace these stories that Goleman's EI framework. It measures the competencies like empathy, social skills, self-regulation. So Goleman's EI framework says that the measurement of EI depends on how the teacher is in society, how much she is self-regulated, and what are her empathetic skills or scales, how much she can be empathetic. So these are the skills to be framed under Goleman's EI framework. This is a theory. One more theory is there. That is Guskey's PD framework. PD is personality development framework. That shows how teachers grow professionally in stages. So Dr. Guskey says, if I want to study what are the emotional intelligence paradigm to level the growth of teacher, one has to know what are the personality development framework in this teacher's life, like how she is growing, how she has grown in her work experience. This has to be studied. And constructive learning is also a theory which supports the idea of emotional intelligence that help teachers to reflect and improve continuously.
Dr.
Continuously.
Priya,
Yes,
Dr.
yes.
Priya, sorry to disturb you. The slide is not visible.
Okay.
Yeah. Just share it again. So
Is it visible?
yes. Kindly put on the slideshow so that.
Is it visible now?
Yes, it is. It is, Dr. Priya. Now, can you just put it on slideshow because it is little on the slides. The Yeah, I think it's okay, Dr. Priya. I think you can continue rather than.
Yeah, because for some reasons I'm not able to manage with this thing.
No problem. Kindly continue. You can just carry on. No, again the slide is gone.
Yeah, this is a problem.
Okay. Uh, um, Mr. Bannu, are you on? Do you have this? Yeah, I think.
Is it clear?
Yeah, we can see it now.
Now it is clear, ma'am. You can go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. So constructive learning, again, I have explained that it supports the idea of emotional intelligence. It helps teachers to reflect and improve continuously. How can we expect the improvement for a specific time period or for a specific work experience, and after that we say, no, we are done, we have learned everything, no improvement is needed now? No. We know this. This is very obvious. So, if we want to understand, if we want to research the teacher's development based on emotional intelligence, then we have to understand that what is the consistency of teacher's learning or improvisation throughout her work career. That also has to be considered while we are doing research on such topics. Now, there is, I told you that I am going to teach you the study based on model study. So to study a model, we have to understand what you mean by independent variable, dependent variable, mediator, and moderator. Just a moment. See, when we are studying for a model based, we should know what do you mean by independent variable, dependent variable. See, the main variable which is going to work for itself, it is not dependent on any other variable for its answers. That is called as independent variable. Now, the variables which depend on other factors to study, they are called as dependent variables. And mediator is the thing which is making a connection between dependent and independent variable. Mediator is a part of model-based study which creates a relationship between dependent and independent variable. And moderator is like, what are the demographic characteristics, what are the habits, what are the pedagogies of teacher, such things which are not in the category of the variable dependent and independent, but they are different, but they need to study. They are called as moderator variables. So, to this study, emotional intelligence is a variable which is independent, because the focus, the main variable, the key variable of this study is emotional intelligence. But teachers' professional growth is dependent, because teachers' professional growth is dependent on teachers' consistency, teachers' pedagogy, teachers' work experience. So it is overall a dependent variable. And if I take a stress management, a factor, stress management, it is going to be a mediator. Like, what is the level of stress management that helps a teacher to work on her emotional intelligence as per the requirement of her workplace? Right? Mediator is something which is creating a relationship between independent and dependent variables. And moderator is, I would say, in a very layman's language, if I would say, it is rather than important factor which is not in the league, but it has to be studied. So teaching experience can be a moderator here, which can help to create a model to make a figure, an image, a model to study emotional intelligence required for the development of teachers. Now, I would ask audience, the participants here, to me, the moderator is teaching experience. Can you suggest me more moderators? Can you suggest me which are not mediators, but they are just moderators? Someone can suggest me? Someone can suggest me what can be the more moderators for this study if I'm studying emotional intelligence for a teacher's development. What moderators are required here? I have chosen one, teaching experience. Can you please suggest me more? So teacher qualification and teacher experience, I think nearly same. No, not exactly same, but nearly same. What? Give me new. Gender. Yes. Gender can be a moderator. Now you tell me one thing. If gender is a moderator, why I'm not taking gender as a mediator? Because gender is not dependent on the emotional intelligence and teaching as a professional development. No, gender has nothing to do with that. But we can take gender as a moderator for our study. Personality traits. Yes, Mr. Deepa Rastogi, she has suggested personality traits. Definitely personality traits can be a factor for moderator for our study. I like this thing. I like this factor. Personality traits can be a moderator. Deepaji, can we focus one specific or two specific personality traits that can work very strongly as a moderator for a model study? Yes, personal motivation. But whenever we talk about motivation, we seem like we are very much repetitive with this word. So let's come up with more uniqueness, or rather than no, which is very not common in the market. Openness. I think empathy can be taken as a moderator. Empathy. What do you say? Empathy can be taken as moderator? Conscious, subconscious? Actually, Deepa ji, conscious, subconscious is very good, but it is very deep rooted. Yeah. If we go with conscious and subconsciousness, then we have to follow other things. I think we get distracted with our topic then. But yes, I say it is very good thing to approach for this research study. I like that. So I can see Deepa ma'am is very much into this presentation. I'm hoping that others are also taking interest, or if something is not as per the expectation, let me know. I'll come up with the change sort of explanations. Definitely I'll do that. So this is the model. We have created a model. We have created a model where we have dependent variable, independent variable, mediator, moderator. We can experiment more. If you want complex model for a study, we can have more dependent variables. Tell me what? Okay, one dependent variable I have chosen, that is teacher professional development. That was already there in my topic. No? Would I just suggest more dependent variables? If you can choose any, what can be more dependent variables for you? But it should be more, it should be dependent. It should be dependent. Can you suggest me more dependent variables which are dependent on emotional intelligence? Yes. Yes, Miss Hazra, it is adaptability. It's very good. Adaptability is a dependent variable on emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is actually dependent on adaptability. Yeah, you're good. You're good to say. Behavioral reflection. Yes, I discussed empathy. Yes, okay. What more? Course materials. Course materials are dependent on emotional intelligence. No. Miss Majumdar, course materials are not dependent on emotional intelligence, right? Because how we'll relate course materials with emotional intelligence? I don't think. Interpersonal skills, yes. Sugandhi Rao, this is very good option. Interpersonal skills, yes, very good. Job performance is also actually, I like this, a very relevant, a very to the point factor, job performance. And yes, introspection. Introspection is, I think, is a very go-to word. It's a very, obvious thing with emotional intelligence. Yes. Kavita Rathod is self-awareness. The most dependent variable on emotional intelligence. Reena ji, so nice, so nice. I like this. Self-reflection, so nice. Self-reflection is dependent on emotional intelligence. Wait, you tell me. Someone is not a teacher, but he is asked to teach. Can you measure the emotional intelligence of that person who is not a teacher, but he is asked to teach? Right? Yeah, very good. I'm so happy to see the feedback I'm getting from the participants. Actually, I like this. I hope you participants are learning. I'm telling you, I'm giving you assurance, if you will work as per the model-based study, you will have approach, you will get the approach for publication from just the high esteemed journals. High esteemed journals, I'm telling you, because this is the time when market is asking for analysis. Market is asking analysis in the research, and analysis also it's a very very common thing, too much in the market. But now these days everyone is trying to work or understand model-based study. Then when model-based study is this easy, why we are not doing this? We also have to work on model-based study literature review. We have to work on whatever research we are doing. We can definitely talk about this at the last. That but if it is it depends on the model-based study. You have a clear ground. You have a clear ground. You will not find any competent around you. I'm telling you. Yes, that's good. I like the feedback I'm getting. So good. Now, conceptual framework. I have drawn this diagram. You can also draw as per your requirement. I have drawn this. So my diagram says emotional intelligence in development, to development. Okay, for that what I need? I need teachers' professional development. I need teachers' experience. I need institutional support. I need teachers' well-being. I need classroom management. I need teacher motivation. But now, after talking to you now, after getting your feedback, I need many other things like self-awareness, self-adaptation, and self-regulation. These are also the factors to consider for this study. Just look at the scenario. Just look at the picture, how your research will come after adding these many factors to the model. As much the model is complicated, that is actually being approached or no, considered for the publication, I'm telling you. Considered for the publication. So making a ball in the mid and just putting the arrows there and this is model. No, this is not a model. Model has to be a mediators, moderators, where the mediator is working, how the moderator is performing. You have to come up with the complexities of the model. And I think when after getting explanation of what is mediator and moderator, you understand how to create a model. So this is not going to be tough after going through this explanation or this presentation. Once we are done with research, literature reviews, model done, now we have to work on the hypothesis also, because that hypothesis to be explained in the literature review. So if I have chosen these three hypotheses, for example, emotional intelligence has significant positive influence on teacher professional development. This is my first hypothesis, that emotional intelligence has a very positive impact on teacher development. Okay, like I'm saying that emotional intelligence is good for teacher development. It is definitely does good things about teacher development. Okay. Second is mediation effect. Teacher motivation mediates a relationship between emotional intelligence and professional development. Now, my second hypothesis is saying that if teacher is motivated, then there is a relationship of EI and PD. EI and PD is emotional intelligence, that I have a balance of my and my emotions, and professional development, what I have learned how to behave, how to develop according to my profession. That is a mediator. The motivation is a mediation effect. This is my second hypothesis. Now, third hypothesis is teaching experience moderates the relationship between EI and professional development. Now, moderation, I told you, which is important, but doesn't exist in the league of that particular group of words or group of factors of that relevancy, of that keywords, I would say, of that specific research. But teaching experience moderates the relationship between EI and PD. So yes, now if I have given you three hypotheses and I ask you, just let me know which hypothesis you are going to prove. Which hypothesis would be would you be able to prove as per your research? Which hypothesis you will choose? Which hypothesis you will choose? Tell me. I have given you three hypotheses. Now, which hypothesis you will choose for your research study? You have one as direct influence. Second is mediation effect. Third is moderation effect. So what H1, Sapna ji is saying that she will choose the hypothesis first. That has direct influence. That EI has direct influence on teachers' development. Okay. So Sapna ji, if you have chosen this as your hypothesis, can you give me one simple example how your model will work when you already have independent variable as EI, dependent variable as teachers development, and what will be your mediator? What would be your moderator? Can you help me to understand? As per your hypothesis 1, if you want to work on hypothesis 1, if you are going to focus on hypothesis 1, then what would be? I'm just ask Sapna ji, and we're just working a rough draft. We're just trying to create a rough draft. We're just trying to learn. So what would you take as your mediator and as your moderator? Veena Sundaramji, correlation is what? What correlation? What you are trying to say with the word correlation? Veena ji, even you can unmute yourself if possible. We can talk, or I don't know if the Venu ji will allow us. I
And
think
they
I
don't
think
have access. They can chat
okay.
in the chat.
Understood.
Message.
Understood, sir.
Yes.
Understood. Okay. So, Veena ji, if you are taking H1 as a hypothesis to work on, then what would be your mediator and moderator? To my understanding, your independent variable is emotional intelligence and dependent variable is teacher professional development. Now, for here, the mediator would be, what would be the mediator? Teacher experience. And what would be the moderator? Can you give me one example? What can be the moderator, which is not in the circle, but it is important to study? I think a moderator can be the institution of work. What do you say? Institution of work matters or doesn't matter? It matters when we are about to show, we are about to work on professional development, and we are also working on EI. Institution matters or doesn't matter? I think it matters. So moderator we can take as institution of work. That can be a new factor. So likewise, you have to think as per your framework of thoughts and come up with the mediators and moderators for a model study. Now, refining research, design, and methodology. When you are done with all these things, you have to define the methodology. What methodology you are going to work on. So measurement tools, if we'll say that Scuttle EI scale or Goldman's ESCI. Now, these are the few landmark measures to scale the EI as per PD. Understand? I know yours is this topic of study, but I'm trying to show you the relevance. If you come to this stage that you have to think about the methodology, how you'll work, then you have to find the measurement, the scale to measure. So according to this topic, we have this scale to measure. Skelet EI scale. This, according to this scale, I have to measure, and for this, I will choose it as a part of my methodology. Pre-post interventions designed to measure changes in PD workshops. Now, if one teacher has taken few PD workshops throughout a year, we can analyze those PD workshops and the development she has shown throughout these PD workshops. That also can be worked as a measurement scale, right? So now after this, who is going to be the respondent for my research? Is it going to be secondary teacher or primary teacher? So I suppose if I'm studying emotional intelligence, then somewhere primary students should not be considered. I hope you all are grown-ups or matures, you know. That primary students, we have no emotional intelligence rather than having patience and calm and things like that, because they are birds with with no control on their feathers. They can come up with any question, they can come up with any nuisance. So we can't think of managing students with the help of emotional intelligence. No. But yes, if it would have been a teacher of secondary, then they would be the right respondent to study the role of emotional intelligence. And also adopt proven data collection methods in prior studies. One more thing can be the sample for collection, that what pedagogies they have been using to teach. This can also be a factor to study for this research. That can be also a part of methodology. You tell me, if you are teaching a student throughout with the chalkboard, if you are teaching throughout a student throughout with the explanation, you are not changing your pedagogies. So we have to consider such things also to study EI of a teacher, right? Now, I'll come to synthesizing knowledge and establishing originality. Now, I have to synthesize what I understood, and now where I am going to be original. Now, evidence-based claims, if I am putting something which I like in any particular research paper, then I have to put the things in a quotes. This is known to everyone. But again, this is called as evidence-based claim. We have evidence. And critical synthesis, when we are comparing one thing to the other, this has to be done in literature review. I'm telling you, dear friends, you have to segregate your literature reviews, your reviews in these things also. Few you have to show the evidence-based, few you have to show that these are also critically synthesized. And again, lastly, you have to show where you are novel at, what new you are contributing. Okay. Someone is having any doubt up till now? Someone is having any doubt up till now? Or may I proceed with the presentation?
Yeah, Dr. Priya, this Kavita here, I just would like to know, tell you that the time is limited, so you can just, quickly go through your presentation.
Done. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, it's already 5:30 now. Because I know this being a very, exhaustive topic, people will have a lot of questions to ask.
Okay.
Learning, yeah.
So I have chosen few AI tools which can be aided for research. Research Rabbit, Elicit, LitLamps, Genai, Answer This. These can help you in gaining the clarity on what you think. For example, I'm giving you one example. If you go to Genai, if you go to Genai and you just write, I want a research paper based on model study, and these are my keywords, I tell you, you'll get a draft. One important thing I want to add here, dear friends, AI is always there to aid our work. AI always adds value to our work, but we should not be dependent on AI for our writings. That may create issues for our writings, for in publication and other problems, but we definitely have to get a selected idea from AI. For this, there are few AI tools which I've chosen. If you can get your work done with the help of these, I have seen that previously, if one has to study 50 research papers, then it used to take around 5 to 6 months. But in this era of AI, if you have to study 50 research papers, then minimum 10 hours is sufficient for you to get what those 50 research papers want to say. So this much is important. This much is important to procure from AI contribution. But if you want to seek 100% help, that would again go in vague. The work will not be original anymore, because we all know that AI gives us what is already there at some metadata. It is not creating data by its own, but it is procuring, it is finding the data, it is already existing in some other place. So I'm just suggesting Genai and LitLamps. Elicit is very good. You can work on your literature with the help of Elicit. This will help you to extract ideas. Just upload 10 research papers in Elicit. Okay. And just let it know what actually you want to know. If I am working on such topic and I'm saying that these are the these are the 10 papers, help me to find important factors required for a model-based study. This much only I'm giving the prompt. I'll get all the factors filtered from those papers which are required for my model-based study. Okay, so dear students, if someone is having any confusion, let me know. As if I'm done with my presentation, I have tried to explain you how to work, how to create a structure of literature review based on model-based study. So let me know if I can help you in any other ways. And I'm done with my presentation, Kavita ma'am. So we can.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Dr. Priya. Thank you. I would just like listener, the learner, the participants to kindly, add your questions to the chat box so that we can take it one by one. Could you kindly pose your questions on the chat? Please type your questions in the chat box.
If someone is having any doubt,
Yeah, I
please.
think there is one question that one of our friends asked us. The question is, Priya ma'am, if you could hear me,
Yes,
can teacher training be included to consider EI?
sorry.
Can teacher training be included to consider EI is the question.
I think in teacher training, EI should be considered on the very priority basis, because we teachers need the balance of emotional intelligence just to have the relevance of their understanding. The relevance, the understanding, because we know this much, student understand this much. So how we cope up this gap with the training of EI, I suppose.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Priya, there is a question which I would like to read it to you. This is Dr. Priya. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is from Mr. Prakash. He says, if we use AI for research work, wouldn't it be plagiarism?
Prakash sir, I have said that you only can get the idea from AI. We are not supposed to take the entire data from AI, because AI is procuring, getting the data which has already existed somewhere, and if we'll copy it, it will be in plagiarism, 100%. But yes, AI can help us to make a structure. It will help us to create the data which is new to the market. But blindly following AI will not add any value to the research.
Oh, yeah, that's true, ma'am, because it's all
Yes,
about
ma'am.
wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, there is another question from Dr. Veena Somasundaram. She needs to know, are moderate and mediation can be considered as independent variables, demographic variables?
See, there is no consideration, no limitations for moderate and mediator. It is us. If I'm saying this particular factor is going to work as a moderator, then I have to define it as a moderator. Means I'm going to define that variable which is not in the loop, but it is important. Now, how you are going to create this art, this is up to you. We have to work on whatever is already present here, but now it's based upon our creativity, how we are going to design that factor as. So you will say that this factor will be a mediator, I'll say this factor will be a moderator. Now we both will justify the position of that factor, right? We have to define their roles as a mediator. If I'm saying mediator, I have to define the role as a mediator. If you are saying it is a moderator, then you have to define the role of that factor as a moderator.
Ma'am, there is one more question, which
Yes,
is on
please.
AI.
Tell me, ma'am.
What are the potential applications of AI tools for teaching and learning? This is a general question, I think.
So, may I know the name of the participant?
This is, oh, yes, sorry. This is Dr. KRK Reddy.
So, Mr. K.R. sir, I tell you one thing, if I'm going to give you a list of 5 or 10 AIs, I swear in a very next day, there will be another 5 AIs. I have researched in 7 days, there's a development of 100 AIs every week. Sir, I'm working on AI, that how AI is considered in the research. I'm working on this presently. For that, I have researched that in 7 days, every week, there's a development of 100 AIs. So if I'll call you, if I'll tell you that these are the list of AIs, and till the time you'll go to your desktop and get those, then you will find another new. What I tell you, what I suggest all the participants here, instead of going to separate AIs, learn prompt engineering. That will help you. Yes.
Yes, yes, true
Yes,
that.
yes, ma'am.
Excuse me,
Doc-
ma'am. Sorry
yes.
sorry for interruption. Yeah, can you wind up because we have last 9 minutes more.
Yeah.
So the link will get expired. So meanwhile, we have to send the uh,
Sure, sure.
link for attendances.
Awesome.
Oh, sure, sure, ma'am. So maybe I'll send you these. We can, I think, later send you the question. There are two more questions, so we'll just send it to you later, with, maybe by mail. But
Okay.
uh, I think since we are running out of time and this topic needs really a lot of discussion and uh,
Yes.
too much of putting it, because you've given a lot of the thin lines to divide the identify the moderator, the mediator. It is really a very new thing, something that needs a lot of discussions. So um let me just conclude the session by just thanking Dr. Priya Advani for taking the time to give us a lot of analytical view of putting this literature review together. But as a researcher, I see literature review, which was once quite a summary of the past works. It has become something living, breathing, and interactive now. Now it almost mirrors the the rhythm of the modern life, something dynamic, connected, and constantly evolving through. And AI and digital tools have transformed how we read, how we map and synthesize knowledge. They allow us to see relationships across disciplines, to trace ideas through time, and to discover new possibilities hidden between lines. So, in the end, actually, both life and literature review teach us the same truth. Progress is not about collecting more data, but about finding deeper meaning. And in this human AI partnership lies the future of learning, where machines may illuminate connections, but only the human mind can turn them into wisdom. So, with that note, I actually, Dr. Priya, I was also trying to put this. Suppose if the talk is here, the research topic, I was just trying to put which is the variable, which is independent, which is the moderator, which is mediator. I'll talk to you later on this because
I'm looking to
I'm
see
not.
you in future, ma'am. I actually am so impressed with your the bio sir has read. I'm so impressed. Definitely, I want to see you, ma'am.
Oh, sure, sure, sure. But this time, I'll just thank you, at most bottom of my heart. That thank you for enlightening us with this aspect of literature review.
Shall we
I am,
have? Yeah. Shall we have a
I'm
group
absolutely
project?
yes, yes. I'm absolutely sure the participants have really got, a part of the pie, and the rest of the pie. I think we have to really research, work on it, and to have, increase the effective writing and publication. So I'll take my time and would like to thank ELTAI, Dr. Priya, and Dr. Joseph. So handing over back to Dr. Joseph,
Thank you.
being the
Thank,
host. Yeah.
thank you, Professor Kavita Nair and Dr. Priya Advani. So before we wrap up, and because we have a shortage of time, let me announce to you the next ELTAI webinar, which is, I'm sure, going to be very insightful, and as insightful like we had one just now. It's going to happen on Sunday, on December 21st, 2025, and we will have this captivating session on the topic Teaching English, Shaping Futures, a journey from India to Scotland. I repeat, this will happen on December 21st, 2025, Sunday, same time, 4:30. The topic will be Teaching English, Shaping Futures, a journey from India to Scotland. I also would want to thank Dr. Priya Advani for her insightful and thought-provoking ideas and thoughts that she explained and expressed to us. Thank you, Professor Kavita Nair, for moderating the session very effectively. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
registration details and additional information about the exciting webinar are available in the chat box and also on our website. Remember, your active participation is not only encouraged, but essential to the success of all our events. Let's continue to our journey of professional development together, right? I think it's time for a photograph. I request every one of you to kindly switch on your cameras, please. Very quickly, we're running out of time. Yeah. Yes, looking lovely. It's good to see all the faces. Yes. Banu sir, you could tell us when the photograph is taken.